Hello everyone, welcome to a new video for XRP price prediction based on Elliott wave analysis. And starting on the daily chart for the bullish and bearish scenario, we have a 1, 2, 3, 4 and a 5 impulse toward the upside, finish wave 1 or wave a very long sideways correction, a WX and a Y. Your wave Y is a triangle ABCDE, and we started an impulse 1, 2, 3, 4 and a 5 toward the upside. Currently, we are looking at this impulse to be finishing a wave 4, which is not finished yet. We have 1, 2, 3. We're looking at a wave 4 currently unfolding, and we already hit the 0.38 fib level. We're looking for, of course, higher, unless, of course, this correction is not finished yet. We're gonna dive inside it, of course, to see if we are still have more waves, of course, to unfold for this correction before continuation toward the upside. On the 4-hour chart here, we can see, of course, the following price action unfolding as a potential A, where you have potentially a triangle A, B, C, and then D and an E. However, this is a very, very low possibility that because, of course, we just already took the low here for this one, which is actually invalidated. So I'm gonna remove this option right now because it is already invalidated. So it left us, that is perfect, that it left us with one possible scenario right now, which is a W and an X, and you're looking at a Y finish potentially, and you would like to see something unfolding toward the upside. Now we see something here as a leading diagonal, but we did not get any price action after it. And that might, of course, bring us for more waves here toward the downside, maybe to still, of course, looking for this low. And in this time, of course, I'm looking for the last scenario, which is, of course, the ending diagonal, which is an A, B, and a C. So we're gonna add this, of course, here as an A, B, and a C. Of course, this is the second scenario, which it has right now higher possibility because the WX and Y has unfolded, but we didn't get an answer, right, for bullish. And I'm gonna dive deeper in the micro here to explain why. So basically, if we are looking at 3 ways down, 3 ways up, you would like to see 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. So potentially your next target might be, of course, a wave 3 here. So we are looking at, yeah, here we go, 1, 2, and then 3, 4, and a 5. This is, of course, our scenario for an ending diagonal here potentially. That it might, of course, bring the wave 4 and wave C here. So your target for a wave 3 basically are the following. We are looking for, of course, a diagonal wave 3. So let me snap this again. All right, so wave 3 in a diagonal are the following targets. So I'm gonna remove this blue box. I'm gonna, of course, bring it even a little bit lower because it might be. Don't forget that also we have the 0.618, which it can be also a target, guys. Yeah, so this blue box can be wide range a little bit. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. So we're gonna see how this is going to unfold. This is, of course, our path here for the bearish scenario, of course. So bearish. Yeah, so basically this is what I'm looking for XRP. It might be, of course, a little bit more sideways and a little bit looking for lower to take the low. And then starting, of course, to unfold something towards the upside. If we take a look at the 1-hour chart here, we can see the following price action here, where we see, of course, the W, X, and a Y. So basically, you have started here in 3 ways, and of course, unfolding another 3 ways, which it might be W, X, and a Y, or it can be simply A, B, and a C, and finishing potentially a wave A here, right? So this is our wave A. Let's put it in different color. Well, then you are looking at a wave B, not touching yet the 0.38, as you can see, which is the minimum requirement, at least for a wave 2, which, making this, in case it is a leading diagonal, making this impossible to be an impulse as a 1, 2, right? And the answer was given here. If you have a 1, 2, 3, the wave 4 invalidated the impulse directly, and we're looking here to something else as 3 ways up, correction, and wave C, right? So we see potentially a correction, and we're looking right now at least towards the downside for one more single move again. In another scenario, I would take this as a full A, B, and a C, or W, X, and a Y, because you finished here potentially. It's not, of course, an impulse since you invalidated. Therefore, this is a three-wave corrective. So I'm gonna transfer this, even I'm gonna move this to something much more understandable. W, X, and a Y. Here we go. And then moving towards the downside, of course, for wave 3. Now, what I would like to see here is, of course, a zigzag. I would like to see an impulse, correction, and impulse. Currently, inside this area, you are looking at an impulse, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, again, yeah, interfering with zone 1, which is not a good signal. So yeah, potentially we still, of course, invalidating this move towards the downside currently. You might still see one more wave toward the upside, and of course continuation again for lower. I don't see, of course, the problem here. I don't see right now a direction. It is much more like a very balanced between bullish and bearish for XRP. And I believe, of course, that this is gonna unfold move up, move down, move up, move down. So even it might, of course, deviate from our scenario here, and of course to be reanalyzed in this area. Now it can be that the wave Y is, of course, getting expanded, meaning if you get one more high, it can be, of course, turning this into a clear zigzag and then X and a wave Y here. But potentially, yeah, I don't see any move towards the upside or even towards the downside. Most probable scenario is that you move in sideways inside this range right now. This is all what I can say now for XRP. Highest possibility, of course, sooner or later to take one more low and then moving toward the upside for a new all-time high in a wave 5. If we take a look also at the KGT for XRP, so on the 15-minute chart, in an overview, as you can see, you have a buy signal, divergence, and again, of course, another divergence, so higher potential, as we said, to move toward the upside for one more leg. However, I don't see yet the bullish scenario unfolding. On the 5-minute chart here, you can see a clear impulse, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. So basically, and of course, divergence with the CVD lines, and that means, of course, it might unfold something higher. So let's go back to the 15-minute chart. So we are looking 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 here. And that is interesting because, of course, it might show some, a finished wave C potentially here. Let me check if we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. What does this can mean on the 1-hour chart? Okay. Yeah, that might means, of course, the following. This is where KGT helps so much, guys. A, B, and a C. And that means, of course, in an even a little bit a bigger view here, you might see this diagonal still expanding for wave 2. Yeah. So this wave 2 might still be, of course, moving a little bit for higher here. Here we go. Somehow like that. And then starting the move towards the downside. Yep. So these are the possibilities right now, guys. And this trend might start from the top here for a wave 3 in an ending diagonal. Alright, so that was it for XRP. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes and comments, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.